Jesus gives these disciples, and before I give you the reason, I found it interesting. The text says that they went to Jesus privately. You know, it's a good thing to be able to go to Jesus privately. And sometimes you need to go to your pastor privately. Now, your pastor, I don't mean to be patronizing or look down on anybody's skill, but I have learned that your best skill sometimes is not what you do in the pulpit. Amen. In fact, that's the relatively easy part. It's so easy to stand up here and tell everybody else what to do. But now it gets a little tedious and a little challenging when a fellow comes in your private space and asks you why. You got to have an answer that not only meets the need of the moment, but ministers to the person who brings the question. And so you got to give these disciples credit. At least they had sense enough to go to Jesus privately and ask, why could we not cast them out? And I don't mean to be insulting, but some of us don't have that much sense to at least ask somebody, why you want to keep parading around here? You got on your Sunday best, you got your hair cut, or you got your hair fixed, and you're looking all good, and you look like you know, but you don't know. Why you keep parading around here like you got the word in your pocket? And you can hardly tell somebody how to be saved. Amen. Ask somebody. Ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and ye shall find. You do not have because you do not ask. So it was a real blessing that Jesus at least had men who would ask. You can say what you will about them brothers. Peter talked too much. Peter carried a knife, and he used it. James and John, they were overly ambitious. They were so overly ambitious, they couldn't wait for the process to work its way out. They said, Mama, go ask Jesus if we can sit on the right and the left. And Charles, he didn't talk much, but he was a doubter. Philip, he didn't talk much either, but Philip, he thought ahead. And before the sun went down, Philip said to the brothers, we got to figure out where we going to feed all these folks. And since we don't find nothing but 2 fish and 5 barley, y'all go tell Jesus to send these folks home. And everybody knows about Judas. Judas carried the money bag. And there was never no money in the bag. They got ready to pay the taxes, and they checked the account, and wasn't no money there. You say what you will about these rascals. It was something wrong with all of them. Like it is something wrong with all of them. But Jesus used them. And they at least had sense enough to say, Lord, why did we say? And aren't you glad? Aren't you glad? I'm almost through. Aren't you glad that Jesus hears and answers prayer? Is there anybody in here that's ever had to go late in the midnight hour and asked embarrassing questions. And the Lord had an answer for you. Aren't you glad today that the Lord will hear you and he will answer? And so they eased up to Jesus and said, Lord, why do we mess up? Why we couldn't do better? You told us a few days ago, about a year ago, go and preach, heal the sick, cast out demons. We did what you told us to do. But didn't nothing happen today. Didn't nothing happen today. We were embarrassed out there with them scribes and Pharisees out there criticizing us and rolling their eyes at us. Why did we fail? Jesus started answering the question. Go ahead, Doc. And this is an answer for all of us. Ain't nothing changed, y'all. That's it. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing new under the sun. You're right. You're right. First thing Jesus said. Well, fellas, your biggest problem is your unbelief. You heard what I said in Matthew 10, but you didn't fully receive what I said in Matthew 10. And that is the biggest problem of the church in 2013. We can read the word and we can hear the word, but our biggest problem is receiving the word and planting it in our heart. Amen. And you'll find that half of us who preach the gospel Sunday after Sunday don't believe half of what we preach. And let me tell you, now before you give all these preachers a tail up here, you ain't no better. You don't believe half of what you read. And when the preacher preaching, some of y'all look at me like this now. Body language is just as important as talking sometimes. You can tell when a Negro is stating you. Jesus, Peter, James, John, you fellas got a belief problem. You don't believe what I tell you. Now, I know I ain't right about this. When you get, write this down, you run over to chapter 16 of Matthew when you get to the house. And you'll see where Peter was shining bright. Around verse 18, 17, 18, 19. Who do you all say that I'm the Son of Man? And Peter, he shined like gold. Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Peter was beaming. He knew he had the answer right. And Jesus immediately said, well, now wait a minute. Don't take credit for that. Your intelligence didn't give you that. Your schooling didn't give you that. Your acculturation didn't give you that. But my Father, which is in heaven, has revealed that to you. And that, now I want you to get this. That was a revelation from God. But now when you get down to verse 22, and Jesus had told them, I'm going to Jerusalem. And when I get to Jerusalem, they're going to arrest me. And they gonna mistreat me all night. And Friday I'm going up to Calvary. And they're gonna nail me to the cross. And I'm gonna die there for the sins of the world. You stop going around here talking about all this death and dying. That ain't gonna happen. That's how some of us are. That's how some of us are. Peter had a revelation in the previous verse. But he soon abandoned the revelation and started rebuking Jesus. Just like some of us, we shout and we holler, the pastor have us all out on the floor and how you messing up your dew, breaking your fingernails off and all kinds of stuff. And before you get off the church yard, you trying to tell the preacher what he should and ought not do. You abandon the revelation that had to happen and decide that you are now powered to tell the preacher and rebuke the preacher. The reason you can't do what you're supposed to do is a problem with your unbelief. Now, I'm supposed to be through because I understand sermons ought not go past 25 minutes, 20 minutes or something. But if y'all pray with me, I'm going to finish this. Now listen, there's a difference between disbelief and unbelief. And I can go along with a fellow that suffers from disbelief better than I can a fellow who is suffering from unbelief. A fellow with disbelief will say, I didn't believe that. But a fellow with unbelief will say, I don't believe that, and I ain't doing it. All right. Think on that. All right. Unbelief is our biggest problem. Secondly, and it's in the text in verse 21, where Jesus says, this kind comes out by nothing but prayer. The next problem is our prayer life.